sometimes you just gotta let people miss out on you. Not everyone's gonna see your value. You can't take off your rose-colored glasses and put it on someone else and show them what you bring to the table. You know what you bring to the table, but not everyone's gonna understand that. And so you just gotta let them miss out on you, let them lose you. Everyone always thinks the grass is greener, but you just gotta be willing to walk away from anyone in any situation that doesn't see your value and that doesn't add to that and it doesn't reciprocate that to you, because in the end you're just gonna hurt yourself. But when you know your own value, you know what you bring to the table, and you seek only your inner validation from yourself rather than the external factors like other people. You don't need to prove yourself. You know what you bring to the table. You don't need to prove that. You just got to be present and be that person. Be who you know you are. Not everyone's going to see that, but some people will. You're going to come across that person one day that you're going to want to be with, and then their energy is going to seem so magnetic to you, and it's going to make you feel a type of way that you never felt about someone else before, but they're not going to see your value. They're not going to understand it. They're going to make the choice to go find out if the grass is green on the other side. You need to be willing to walk away from that. No one else is going to live your life. Only you're going to live your life. You're the only soul in your body. You're the only one capable of making the choices you need to make in order to better yourself, to raise your value. And you need to get out of the energy of needing to prove that. You don't have to prove yourself to anyone. You know in your heart. Jesus sees in your heart. He knows. That's the only validation you need. As humans, we're social creatures. We're wired to need that validation. And external validation could even reach the point of addiction. I didn't really believe that it could be addiction at first, but then when I sat and thought about it, I was like, yeah, it really can be addiction, but that's sad. That's really sad, because if you think about it, no one is out here thinking about you, clearly, right? And if you don't put yourself first, then you're just going to be miserable and you're not going to get what you want to get out of life, because you're going to get walked all over. Think about the nicest people you know, but often they're the saddest people you know, because they don't get what they want out of life. They let people walk over them, all over them. They always put people's needs above their own. It really depends on just who you are and how you value yourself, because you cannot let people walk all over you. You have to put your needs above others, because you know your value. You know what you bring to the table. If people don't see what's in front of them, then you have to let them lose you. And I know it hurts. I know it's hard. It's not easy. But you got to get out of that need for external validation. Sometimes it's a subconscious thing that you don't realize that you're seeking external validation. And you catch yourself in these times where you're trying to express your value to other people. But if you catch yourself and you realize this, you can really start to decipher the situation that you're in, and then it'll be made clear to you whether or not they see and reciprocate your value. And if they don't, well, then you need to be willing to walk away, because you know your value. You need to only surround yourself with people who know your value and see what you and understand what you bring to the table. And if they don't, then they're not your people. It's that simple. Even if there's nobody who sees your value and understands what you bring to the table, then you need to be that person for yourself. You need to be your first choice, always. If you're pouring into other people's cups and you're not pouring into your own cup, then your cup's empty while you're filling up other people's cups. Nice person. Yeah, but are you getting what you want in life? No. You have desires. God put desires in your heart, and He wants you to fulfill them. But are you going to fulfill them if you're not filling your own cup first? You need to fill your own cup. Eventually that shit will start to overflow. And where does that overflow go? It goes everywhere else, into the other cups. So when you put your value first and your needs first and yourself first, you be your first choice, then you can really provide for the ones that you care and love about. But you need to put yourself first. You need to be your own first choice. You're not going to be everybody's first choice. And this is coming from someone I've never felt like anyone's first choice in any circumstance ever, except for my dog. I'm always her first choice. When it comes to relationships, friendships, I've always felt like there's something else they'd rather be doing, someone else they'd rather be doing it with. And you know what? I know what I bring to the table. It's no joke. It's like, sometimes I sit and I think if they could only see you, like they would not believe what's waiting for them and what's sitting there wanting them. But I've also done so much shadow work, so much inner work on myself to try to build myself up and pull myself out of these dark times that I've gone through, to really show myself my value. And I'm at the point now I really understand my value. I refuse to sit here and try to prove to anyone what I bring to the table, because I know what I bring to the table, and either you see it or you don't. And I'm the type, when it comes to relationships, I romanticize a lot. It's not like physical attraction doesn't mean shit to me, because I've been with the prettiest girl in school, I've been with the prettiest girl at work, I've been with the prettiest girls, and it's fucking nothing special, because I'm not gonna say I'm the prettiest girl, but you know what I mean? Like, that's how I see myself. But it's not because of my physical attraction, it's because of my energy, it's because of my heart, because I know what I bring to the table. That being said, the only thing that I'm attracted to is energy. I met someone whose energy was absolutely magnetic. I couldn't shake it. Her actions gave me every reason to walk away. And so I did that. I walked away, I put myself first, but still, I dwelled on it in my head. I sat there, I couldn't stop thinking about her. Like, why am I sitting here thinking about someone that I've never been with? You okay? You good? But really, it was just a test from the universe. Really tested my patience and really wanted to see if I truly did know my value. And guess what? Regardless of the fact that I sat and dwelled on it in my head and the thoughts kept running, no matter how hard I tried to run away from them, they kept showing up. I still made the right choice. I still always persevered in my actions. No matter how badly you want something, sometimes that's just the whole point of the test, is just to see if you can be resilient in keeping yourself away from that and learn how to pull yourself out of that mindset of romanticizing and falling for the energy. Crazy, because with this person, it wasn't at all lustful, and I've never experienced that before. I've never experienced being attracted to someone so much and it not at all being lustful. And so I sat there and I thought, whoa, like, what's different about this? This has to be something significant. It has to be. But really, when I stopped romanticizing everything and I stopped getting in my head about it and just thinking and dwelling, I started to see things for how they actually were. And instead of these false, imaginary circumstances that I've built up in my head, I started to see things clearly in how they actually were. And I'm like, you know what? Am I stupid? Like, sometimes you just gotta let people lose you. I had a friend once, he thought I was upset at him over something, and so he just didn't bother messaging me, talk to me, or nothing. He just basically ghosted me, and I was like, oh, what's going on? He's like, oh, I thought you were upset about something. I was just like, in my head, I was like, really? Okay, so clearly, that's not the energy that you want around, man. Like, what? Like, that just goes to show, people genuinely don't give a shit about you. They really don't. It's not even about being cold. It's about protecting my peace. It's about not wanting toxicity in my life, because it tampers with my peace. It makes me feel fucking toxic and miserable, and I genuinely don't care who you are. It doesn't matter who you are to me. If you don't suit my values, then bye-bye. It's quite simple. I definitely acknowledge that it's easier for me than for most. And that's also another crazy thought, is because how attached I get to people that I care about. Especially in terms of relationships. Sometimes you just gotta let people miss out on you. You gotta let them lose you. You gotta put yourself first. You gotta know your value. You gotta act upon that value, that what you know you bring to the table. You can't force people to understand. You gotta stop trying to prove yourself to people. You gotta stop trying to prove your value to people who are never gonna understand. You know, maybe it's right person, wrong time, but does that matter? No, because are you gonna sit there and wait? No, because you gotta live your life. You know your value. If they made the wrong choice, they made the wrong choice. They gotta lay in the bed that they made. Not everyone's gonna choose you. You're not gonna be everyone's first option. You might not be anyone's first option, and so you gotta be your own first option. You gotta make that shit happen for yourself.